Okay, so apparently, according to a CNN poll, well, I'm not going to get into all the nuance of this, but it wasn't actually a CNN poll. There was it was a third-party poll done by someone else or whatever, and there were some issues with them skewing the numbers towards the Republicans or whatever. But setting all that aside, there was a poll. Reaction to Trump's State of the Union speech, positive was 63% and negative was 36%, to which Tim Pool replied, "We are so back." So the poll was just among people who had actually watched the State of the Union address. So that made me think of this.
Yay! The survivorship bias plane.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
Guess who was most interested in watching Trump ramble on for 2 hours?
The conservatives.
Probably not the people who would disagree with him about that shit.
Yeah, no sampling bias whatsoever.
Nope. Okay, so the White House posted an image of an eagle pinning down a Canada goose. Now, I saw this out of, like, everybody clipped out the context, including me. So this is my screenshot. I didn't save someone else's, but they were retweeting Justin Trudeau that he posted just before the Olympic hockey game that "You'll never take hockey from us." And then the US won. So the White House posted this. I saw this without context at first. And aside from the, like, just normal feeling of, like, that's not a thing that an official government account should be posting, like, I assumed that this was Trump was mad at Canada for not working with them for something, or for, like, making trade deals that aren't American or something like that. That's what I assumed this was about at first. But my initial reaction when seeing that is like, hey, wait a minute. That is a still frame. Like, that's one of the shots from that time when a Canada goose kicked the bald eagle's ass.
So wait, it's missing the context that the goose won?
Yes, the goose won this fight.
Huh.
Like that like I went back, I checked the pictures, and like, yep, that's the picture. The goose won this fight. And we talked about this on the stream when it happened.
Huh.
Do you remember it? It was...
I do not remember it, no.
Don't remember it? It was like a year ago. Maybe more. I don't know. Canada goose beats eagle.
Man, I'm just going to say right now, that turn of phrase could have been interpreted in a handful of ways.
That's what she said. Yeah, it was back in March. So just about a year ago. So that goose kicked that eagle's ass.
Sylvie Snow saying, "I'll fight a goose, I ain't afraid," while simultaneously also saying they won't learn self-defense. Good times.
I would not fight a goose. I've seen those things' tongues. Have you seen a goose tongue?
No, I haven't, but I am scared.
You're about to.
I don't think I want to see this thing.
Goose tongue.
Are those razor blades?
They have razor-sharp teeth on their tongues.
Does that beak have... Are those serrated beaks?
Yep. Geese are fucking scary, man.
I
would never fight a goose.
So, I understand how the raptors became modern-day birds now. Jesus fucking Christ.
Geese are terrifying creatures. And, like, when they charge at you, they open their mouths and hiss, and you can see everything in there, and they're, like, running at you with their wings up and everything, and they are not small. They are big. Like, they're the size of a small child. It is, like, oh, no, I ain't not fighting a goose. You don't mess with a goddamn goose, and that eagle learned that.
They're gonna kick your ass.
Okay. Kristen Hawkins says, the death penalty is inconsistent with the pro-life worldview. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's see who responded to this. Mike Winger.
Oh boy, Mike Winger. I don't want you to kill all the babies, but I do want you to kill all the adults. Pro-life isn't a worldview; it's a feature of pro-life. So actually, he is right. He is right. Pro-life is a feature of a worldview. True, but it is a feature of so many. God, what's the best way to word this? There are so many different variations of people with worldviews that include pro-life in them that you have to get reductive to the point of being completely, like, inscrutable to
It's like
talk
when they
about
say
all of
atheists
them.
are all a bunch of left-wing socialists.
Yeah, it's like, it's not true. But there is a higher percentage of us that are, yes. Because typically when you leave religion, you have this idea that, hey, maybe there was some other things they lied about too.
Yeah. And he says, the worldview I have is biblical, and the same justice that demands you defend the life of an innocent child demands you punish the murderer. Okay, but punish and execute are not the same thing.
Yeah, also... God, Mike is such a fucking joke.
And this is also where, like, how okay are you with executing an innocent person because we were mistaken at some point? Because that's not a hypothetical. That is a thing that we know has happened.
It's like
multiple
between
times.
7 and 10%, right? Like we have an absurdly high rate of this shit going sideways.
That's just the ones that, like, evidence came out that actually did exonerate them. Imagine how many there might be where there is no exonerating evidence, but they are still innocent. We just can't find out that they're innocent. Like that is a category of people that, like, that one I can't demonstrate exists, but I am convinced that they do. So this is one of those, and I guarantee you ask Mike Winger, if you don't bring the death penalty into the discussion, he's not aware of it. If you just ask him, like, hey, is the government good at its job? He'll tell you no. We need small government. We need more freedoms for individuals, less government, because the government fucks everything up. This is where,
but it doesn't fuck up killing people. It's pretty good at that.
Yeah, it's pretty good at killing people, but the thing that it fucks up in that process is finding out whether that's the right person. Like this, like I made a response to Dennis Prager at one point because they had one video where they were talking about how, like, oh well, if the I think it was an Ann Coulter quote, but they brought it up. They were like, if you put the government in charge of the sand in the Sahara, there would be a sand shortage within years because they're so inefficient at everything. Ha ha ha. But then in their death penalty video, they were like, oh, well, because DNA evidence exists, we will never make a mistake and convict the wrong person.
We still do.
It's like, yeah, no, we do. And DNA evidence is one of the things that has shown us that that's a thing that we do. So it's like, you don't trust the government to manage the sand supply of the Sahara, but you trust them with your literal life?
Yeah.
Like, no.
A way that I've typically argued for this, that it rings really well for libertarians, actually, is why should the state have a monopoly on violence?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, according to Project Innocence, 7% are innocent.
Oh, cool. So I wasn't...
Seven.
I pulled 7% out of my ass, but it turns out that was the number. I knew I saw it somewhere.
There you go. And that's just the ones that can be verified.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember when there was a whole fiasco about killing, like, a fucking 13-year-old black kid? Where we, like, the lawyers were fighting for the death penalty so goddamn hard for a fucking child?
I vaguely remember that, yeah. And what's crazy, though, is, like, if you read the stories of the exonerations, oftentimes they are people who confess to the crime. But they confessed to the crime because the police were out of leads and they were the main suspect at the time. So they basically tortured them into confessing. And then a lot of the times, the fact that they were tortured into confessing came up in court and was ignored. There have even been times when the defense lawyer knew about torturing the confession out of them and didn't bring it up in court.
Yeah, I love...
And guess which people that happens disproportionately to?
People of color.
Them's the ones.
Every single time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, pro-life my ass.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.